Here we go. Welcome, 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 everybody. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the 2026 Black AuthorTuber Readathon. Happy Friday. You made it. And we're here to interview a lovely new author to us, Nailah Harvey, today. So we'll be asking her loads of questions, and you can pour in your questions in the chat as well. Nailah writes nonfiction and is in higher education. So I have some different questions from the romance author on Wednesday. It'll be a little bit different, but I'm glad to have you here. Beth Ann is my co-host this year, this 5th annual year for the Black AuthorTuber Readathon. So subscribe to Beth Ann as well. And Beth Ann, what are your thoughts and feelings today about the Readathon?
Yeah, I think it's funny being introduced as a co-host because I feel like my job is just to read books and then fangirl, and Margaret does all the actual work. So that's what I'm here to do today.
I like that job description. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And I've taken part in this readathon every year since you started it, Margaret. And I really like it because I try to read diversely all year long, but I think February is a special time just to do it in a little bit of a more targeted way. And I like the community building aspect of this, where it's like we're both active on YouTube, you're active on the AuthorTube side. I follow some AuthorTubers, and it's just like, let's boost the voices of people that are in a community that we take part in and benefit from and enjoy. So I just really like having just a little bit of a focus or a particular lens to put on it to celebrate Black voices.
Awesome. So now I get to introduce our guest, Nailah. Nailah Harvey lives in Washington, D.C. as a book editor, doctoral student, and traveling writer, where she also teaches educators and thought leaders how to package their expertise into nonfiction books by way of her signature book, Bookfluence, and book coaching program. Nailah's greatest adventure was living and teaching overseas in South Korea, where she began her career as an author. And I definitely have a question about that, but welcome. And tell us a little bit about your channel and what you love to write.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you, Beth Ann. I am so excited to be here. I feel like you guys are putting me on to the world of AuthorTube. Interestingly enough, I am new to this world, although I'm not new to YouTube, but just displaying my work on YouTube is becoming something that I really, really value. So thank you for being here, and thank you for highlighting my book. In a nutshell, I love to bring ideas to life. I love to bring ideas to life through the lens of writing, nonfiction writing, and education. And that's mainly what my channel is about, my YouTube channel. It's all things writing, all things education.
Okay. And so what are you studying? Like, have you narrowed it down to the last year where you're doing a specific research topic? I've never done a PhD, just an MA. So I don't know like how long it takes. I know you said your 4th year or something. So explain a little bit more detail.
Yes. Thank you for bringing that up. My channel also includes, it has like 3 themes. It's my life as a book editor and writer. It's also my life as a traveling writer and my life as a doctoral student. I'm a 4th year doctoral student at Howard University. And what I love is that HU. So I love the fact that my degree is centered around my love of education. I was going to get a PhD, but I actually opted for an EDD, a Doctor of Education, because I wanted to be more of a practitioner in the field. I'm a former K-12 teacher, so a former English teacher, go figure. And I thought that I would go into a program or enroll in a program that would allow me to apply the experience that I've had for years. So that is where I am right now. And I'm in my 4th year, meaning I'm defending my proposal, the first 3 chapters of my dissertation. Yes, this semester, guys, I am struggling. I'm struggling to really solidify my lit review, get all of those articles positioned the way that I would like them, that will help my research. And I am researching. Did I drop it? I don't know that I've dropped it on my YouTube channel. I think I did, but I don't talk about it often. So you guys are getting, I don't know if it's an exclusive, but you're getting me talking about it now. My research is, teacher preparedness. I'm studying teacher preparedness for high school ELA teachers and how it relates to the literacy rates, writing literacy, of course, for Black high school students. Why am I doing this? Because I'm concerned about that gap, that student achievement gap for students of color, and I want them to do well in college and beyond. So I figure if we study how teachers are teaching them, then perhaps we can put the onus on the adults instead of the children. So that is my topic.
Yeah. That's great. That's fantastic. Okay. I'm glad I hadn't heard that in any of your videos before. So that's very exciting.
That speaks to my heart so much. I'm a scientist, and I was a professor briefly for a couple of years before my college started having financial troubles. And it drove me crazy how much the language around student success, particularly student failure or student struggle, was centered on the student. And I was like, no, it's our problem. Like, if I'm a teacher and my students aren't doing well, I need to reflect on what I'm doing in the classroom. Like, that's not, obviously there's always things our students could tweak. Sometimes they don't do their homework and everything, but yeah, no, the fundamentals, like systemically, it was like, no, what are we doing as college educators? We're not meeting our students where they're at. That's the problem here. So
exactly.
Right. Yeah,
exactly. Thank you for sharing that. That's how I feel. Like, there's so much research and literature about student failure. And I'm like, okay, that's one way to look at it, sure. But also remember that students, especially in high school, they're children. So when are the adults going to take some responsibility? So thank you for sharing that, because it kind of like confirms that and affirms me in my line of research. So yes, thanks.
Awesome.
Well, and since I read Bookfluence yesterday, and at one point you have a bullet point in there where you're like, you could use this book to take your dissertation and turn it into a book. So is that a plan, a few years from now? No pressure, but is that where you see yourself ending up with your dissertation work?
Yes. You guys are getting all of the newness, right? All of the exclusives. Right? So that is something that, and you know what? I haven't shared it because I'm still fleshing it out. Right now, it's just kind of like the bones of where I want to take my career, but that's the goal. The goal is for me to practice what I preach always. And because I do enjoy academic writing, sure, but I also, and the dissertation is the biggest book as an academic that you will ever write. So I'm like, okay, how can I merge my love of thought leadership books with my love of academia? And it's like, oh, well, publish your dissertation possibly. I don't know what I'm going to do with it all the way yet, but the goal is to eventually publish. So yes, and I'm saying it out loud. So I have to hold myself accountable, but that is the goal, to do something with my dissertation that's going to lead into future career opportunities.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. Even though I'm not in education right now, I would still read that. That is like, I love thinking about that. So yeah, I'll look for it in a few years.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't talk about it much on my Booktube or AuthorTube channels, but I'm a former teacher as well because I taught English when I lived in Turkey. So your experiences in South Korea are very interesting to me as like a foreigner and being in a different culture. So, but putting that aside for the moment, I wanted to say hello to the chat because we have a lot of lovely people in the chat. Fellow AuthorTuber, Black AuthorTuber, Devin. Hello. And
hey,
Eva,
Devin,
our resident cheerleader, always here to boost people. Beth Ann is in the chat. We've got a cat paw. Hello. Another author friend. Eva says I've been on this platform too long. We've got Mojo, who's coming on with Devin for the fantasy panel at the end of the month. So stay tuned for that. Very exciting. Let's see. So we're talking about lunch. So I'll skip the lunch talk because that's for the chat.
gotcha.
Doing the dang thing. Struggle is there by design. We have a question. I'll save that because I want to get the first question, but then I'll go back to Eva's. Students are just trying to learn. Totally.
Yes.
Okay. Listening with rapt attention as I consider finishing my AA and hoping to get my BA. All right. Yes. And pulling up fellowship opportunities. Yeah, you got people synapses firing. I love it. Okay, so my very important intro question, since we already like introed everything, it's fine. Is your channel in brand name, does it have anything to do with Hamilton?
No, I apologize. It is not that creative.
Oh, I thought it was so great because we have a.ham and A.Burr in the song when they're talking to each other at the end.
Yes.
And then I was like, n.harv, what? That's so awesome.
And you know what? That is genius. I may actually start telling people that, but no, I'm not that creative. It is literally just my name. I didn't want to share my full name because I thought it would be too long. So I was like, hey, let's shorten it. n.harv. It is really that simple. But I like where you're going better.
And
so
then
I
you
may
get
just
to like sing the little ditty. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Okay, so chat people in the studio. I'm sure you know the answer to this, but can someone please tell me, what do you have to do to participate in the Black AuthorTuber Readathon? I've done it. Beth Ann's done it. Who else has and can tell us in the chat? Read a book.
I was like, are we allowed to say it?
Yeah. Just read one book. We're making it real easy. Yes, Eva's got it. Read a book by a Black author. Close. AuthorTuber, right? So the Black authors, like some of them are like giants, and I would never be able to get them on the channel, and they don't need my help as much because they're much bigger than I am, much bigger brand awareness, right? So in my little AuthorTube community, that's where I figured I can have a little bit of influence and bring the books to people who might actually pick them up and support Black authors. So that's why. Yeah. Bob Ross. Yeah. So there is the link. We've got all the names, we've got all the books, we've got all the links to make it easy for folks. Put your name by one, and you can be invited on for the wrap up to talk about the books that you read. Yeah. Read a book off the spreadsheet and share. And you can also add books to the spreadsheet. So don't feel inhibited. Add a book if you know a Black AuthorTuber, and we'll be happy to learn about more. Yes. Good. Okay. So there was just the delay that YouTube. Gotcha. Yes. March 2nd. Mark it in your calendar as a goal, because that will be the wrap up once February is finished. I will be poking everyone I know until the end of the 28th, because reading one book is possible in a day. So you're all invited. Okay. So now, like, the real questions. How about when you started writing? Because you've got the higher education journey and you've got writing publishing. How are these twin journeys sort of linked? What started you out?
I like how you say twin journey. That really is what it is now. But I actually started writing, just writing in general, when I was younger. My mom can tell you, I would write letters around the house as a kid. I think the earliest memory of me writing letters, maybe 5 or so. Like, and I would tell on myself and tell on my little brother, hey, I'm not feeling good today. Mind you, this is me talking to my parents. We're all in the same house. I'm not feeling well today. And besides, my brother's name is Nehemiah. We call him Maya. And besides, Maya did something wrong. And it's like, just go talk to your parents. But no, I had to write it out. So just letters of me around.
Documentation is there.
There you go. The documentation is there. I wanted to always, cover my tracks, apparently. And what that taught me, though, as I got older, was that sometimes the skill set that we've always like shown or had or even have is the skill set that will make us big in our career. Like me writing as a kid, I never thought that it will be a skill set that would lead me to where I am today. But sometimes you got to go back and think, like, what have I always done? And what can I do with that skill in order to really progress? And my mom reminded me of that when I actually was overseas. She bought me a journal and she said, I want you to write in this journal every single day and every single night. She said, as a matter of fact, this can become your diary, your South Korea diary. And I used to call South Korea SoCo. So I was like, okay, I have my own.
Can I share that on screen?
Yes.
You have a really awesome cover. I have it queued up to share because I thought it was so cute.
Oh,
yes, that is me. SoCo Diaries.
So cool.
Yo, and that leads to like the whole story. My mom is the one who started me with not only my first book, because she bought me the diary. It was a physical diary, but that became the name of my first book, my very first book, which is that book that you just showed.
Oh,
SoCo Diaries.
Right? This is the new one that I can't really do.
I just live in my millennial lane and do the ones that I'm used to. So
yeah.
There
Wait,
you go.
is it the way they overlap is the heart?
Right. It's like supposed to be like this, except my fingers are misshapen, so it doesn't work for me.
I'll see if my 8-year-old can teach that to me.
Okay.
I need the youth.
There you go. But yes, that's where it started. It started as a kid, my writing journey, and then publishing my first book. And I wrote it in 2012 when I was overseas, and published it in 2013, the first SoCo Diaries. And then it led to me thinking that, okay, I'm using like the same strategy to write all of my books, like the first few, maybe 4 or 5 of my books. And I said, wait a minute, people keep asking me how I'm writing this book. Maybe I should teach them how to write it. And then that turned into me writing a book to teach others how to write a book. And then I'm like, oh, okay. I kind of like put that in my memory bank, not in my memory bank. It was definitely on Amazon, but I paused that part of my career, like teaching those how to write a book. And I went to get my master's degree. And I said, oh, I forgot that writing a paper or writing academic papers, you really need a lot of like a grammar refresher. You need a lot of refreshers on how to really get your work as polished as possible, which led me to one of my signature books at the time, Look Better in Writing, a quick and easy guide to grammar, or a quick and easy guide to punctuation. And that was like, that was the beginning of, I guess, where the twin journeys met, thought leadership or academic writing and higher ed writing and publishing. And I wrote that while in college, while in my master's program, while in grad school. And I said, okay, I'm on to something. And it didn't really click until maybe a couple of years ago while here in my doctorate program, or my doctoral program. And I said, oh, I don't need to just write one-off books. I can actually just merge the two. So now I have my thought leadership writing with my higher ed writing. And that's by way of Substack, also by way of YouTube. I don't write on there, obviously, but I still merge those worlds. So now when I'm considering what I'm going to do with my dissertation, after I revealed what I'm going to do a few minutes ago, I'm going to continue that twin journey of merging academic writing with just publishing. And I don't know what that's going to look like totally, but I am along for the journey. And I'm taking people along with me so you can see successes, failures, and to see me try to navigate the two worlds.
That is hard. That's really hard. All right, so subscribe, y'all. You've committed to, is it every Friday, putting out some like piece of content? So it's a great channel for regular check-ins if you want some sort of like friend alongside. I like that feeling a lot.
Thank you.
So when did the YouTube channel come into all that? Because you gave us a timeline, but when did you start on YouTube? Because I started really late, not until the pandemic. Whoops.
Really?
Yeah. So I started 2013 publishing as well, and then like didn't go on YouTube. I was trying to do the other things, the newsletter, the Instagram, it's the website, etc. And so yeah, YouTube was much later. And then now it's like the environment I love the most. So how did you come to YouTube? Was it your first one? Was it your last try, your last ditch effort?
Kind of. I started early when a lot of people started. I don't know when YouTube first became a I don't know the year, but I started near the beginning, I think 2010. So I just had a channel. I don't even know that I posted a video. I honestly don't remember, but I only know that year because when I was updating my YouTube channel, I went back to see like when I joined and it said 2010. Yeah. And I said, oh, wow. 16 years? 16 years and I'm not a millionaire.
Yeah.
But I didn't get somewhat consistent until Korea. Korea really was the birthplace for a lot of my current endeavors. But it was out there that I started like the travel vlogs, obviously, because I was living out there, coming from America. And once I came back to the States, fell off. I think I uploaded maybe a few videos here and there, tried to get consistent again in my grad program in 2018-ish. And then it just didn't click. And I think it's because I didn't have the merging of the two niches. And again, lo and behold, here now in DC, moving from LA, I'm from LA originally, from LA to DC, my worlds just started to blend for the better. And that's when I became more consistent. So now I have not only travel vlogs when I do travel to other cities, states, countries, and I'm typically writing while I'm traveling. I also have like behind the scenes of me on campus at Howard, me struggling through different processes and showing how I'm writing things and showing how I'm finishing papers and meeting with professors and all of that. So you see a little bit of that content, as well as me giving book writing advice. So my AuthorTuber journey is now fully alive on YouTube, but that's a long way coming from 2010, like 16 years on this platform. I wasn't consistent, obviously, but just being on the platform for more than a decade lets me know that it really does take time for you to find that magic sauce.
Oh,
yes, exactly. Exactly. Can you imagine? Exactly.
Eva loves to say that she's been on YouTube forever, so I'm pretty sure she's probably like around the same time. Much before where I was. Okay, so you're talking about being on YouTube and getting consistent. Did you have someone who was a YouTuber who you sort of modeled on, that was an early mentor that you actually interacted with, or in the other industries, in academia or in writing or publishing? You have a lot of different industries to choose from that you're accomplishing things in. So answer it any way you would like in terms of having a mentor.
Okay. Well, when I first went to Korea, the person who I got inspiration from is my mentor and close friend, Lady A Global on YouTube. And then she was in Korea as well. I didn't know her before I moved there, but we met and then we became friends, and we are still friends to this day. So that is like just major. And then that inspiration moved to my current inspiration. I have two who I think do a superb job of mixing academia with other industries. One is Kaylin Grace Apple. She has a lot of content. She's a PhD student or candidate at Yale, but she's now living in the UK, I believe. And she used to be a student at Oxford. So she talks a lot about the academic process, and she is earning her degree now. And also one of my colleagues, Dr. Ramon Goings, he has a channel called Done Dissertation. So he, of course, talks about how to complete your dissertation in a timely manner. So those are like my academic influences right now. As far as an AuthorTuber, I would have to say, I don't know that I have just one. But for the sake of, and here's the thing, I don't know that I have a fiction booktuber or AuthorTuber. I do love Kennedy Ryan. I do love her. She is a Black author. Her book, one of her popular books, is Before I Let Go. It's in the name of the Skyland series, I believe, or Skylar, one of those Skylar series. And I'm reading her book right now. I'm not sure if she's on YouTube, but I do enjoy her content. So Margaret, actually, what you're doing here is allowing me to see more booktubers and AuthorTubers who may not have the reach that Kennedy Ryan does. So I'm actually very appreciative for this platform, because I see the gap in, and what I'm doing as far as like really highlighting Black authors.
Yeah. I don't see Kennedy Ryan on YouTube, but obviously a much loved author by readers on YouTube, I would say. Yeah, that's cool. When I think about that same question, I think like I definitely focused or fixated on certain big AuthorTube channels when I first started out, and I was like, that would be really cool. And what if I tried a video like that? Or that would be really neat. And then I just sort of like evolved and said, well, that's not my thing, and I can't really do that. And so I've just sort of fallen into this niche where I'm like, I'm just doing what I like, hanging out with the people that I know and are on the same, like, what we're here to do kind of level. And so it's a weird, like, I keep remembering the big names or other people that I used to follow when I started, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that was only 5 years ago, but like, it's still, the movie keeps going. So my brain,
I love how you said that you once followed them, but then now you kind of like found your own way and you tweaked things and you have your own lane. I think that is something that I've learned to do as well. And while it's always great to have a sense of like I don't want to say a role model, but a path, you know what I mean, to follow. Sometimes you have to be a trailblazer and kind of like create your own path and create a new lane, a more niche lane. And I think that that is something that I'm working out right now. So yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah, I like that. Trailblazing. Kennedy Ryan. So that's different. Yep. And next question. Bethan, did you have any questions you want to jump in with? Just giving a check-in.
I'm enjoying these questions. Yeah.
All right. All right. So little trip into Booktube land. What do you like to read? Either for comfort or for edification. Do you have favorite authors, that fiction authors, or like in your field for nonfiction?
I love professional development books. I am such a geek when it comes to like, I know, right? It's very on brand, but I love self-help, professional development. I love, I just reread The Four Agreements. So I was like, oh, okay. That is a great book. Oh, yes.
Speaking of really loving professional development books, I'm like, I love your covers. They're speaking to your personality. So I thought I'd pop that up.
Yes. I really enjoyed this book, even though I haven't, it's volume 1, right? And I was supposed to do multiple volumes. And I'm like, I don't know that I can, because this one was received so well. And I don't, that artist kind of like mentality, you don't want to disappoint your readers.
Yeah.
But yes, that's a fun book. I love that short story. That is fun.
You got good covers too. Good
thank you. Why, thank you. But yes, I think my favorite professional development self-help author probably is James Clear. Yeah, and I know that is a lot of people's favorite, but James Clear.
I've actually never heard of him. I'm gonna write him down and look him up.
He's the Atomic Habits author.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So I've heard of that. Yeah. All right.
I was trying to visualize the cover again, being a visual person. I'm like, it's really simple. It's the like just big letters and
yeah.
Very popular on YouTube in the last couple of years. So good. Good pick. Anything for fiction that you wanted to shout out? What kind of like genre?
Fiction. I am into romance. I am. I don't have a favorite fiction author. I'm enjoying Kennedy Ryan. I'm limited in that genre, even though I do enjoy. I don't read it as much because I do find myself reading nonfiction more, especially in this season of my life.
Right.
But I do enjoy romance when I do read fiction. Yeah, and I'm the person who's like, just recommend a book to me. I'll read it. It's fine. Like, I don't have to love the author. Just what is it?
Awesome. And that is a perfect little segue. I'm going to put in the little reminder. Next Friday, the day before Valentine's Day, we have our romance panel for the Readathon. And we've got 3 Black AuthorTubers to talk about their romance books, which I'm really excited about. So I put the link in there. It's unlisted because I'm still working on the description. But yes, so get on that and put it in your calendars if you're interested. I forgot to ask for questions, but we've got some in the audience. So I'm going to go back and visit Eva's question. Do you have opinions on homeschool versus public school? So she asked this back when we were talking about your dissertation topic and research interest. So in terms of putting the burden on the student and then the teacher, what do you think?
I am a fan of public school only because that is what I'm most familiar with. And I've attended public school my entire life, formative years at least. So, well, except now, but it's K-12 public schools. And I think that it's a little bit more than just the curriculum and education and lesson planning. It's also the community and camaraderie that it teaches students how to problem solve, how to have conflict, because kids are going to be kids, so how to solve problems, how to mitigate problems as well, how to advocate for yourself, because sometimes a teacher may do something that you don't agree with or that may be incorrect. And it's okay for you as a kid to respectfully advocate for yourself or for others. There's also extracurricular activities and clubs at a public school or at any school, but typically more so than homeschool, that kids can be a part of and also be the leaders of, so it can strengthen their leadership skills. There are so many other skills that public school teaches and strengthens for kids that homeschool may or may not provide. I'm not sure. And what I do appreciate, though, about homeschool, because I have a friend who did homeschool her children, is that you have more autonomy over what your kids learn. So I do appreciate that. I think it's one of those things where it's like pros and cons. What's most valuable to you and your family? That's something that I don't know that I can really advise you on, but I see the benefit of both, actually.
Awesome. And I think Eva homeschools.
Okay.
I'm not sure. But she definitely does a lot of enrichment activities with the kid, and I love peering in on those adventures and like seeing them vicariously. So I'm sure she's a great mom teacher, like even if it's not a homeschool situation.
Right. I've seen it done great both ways. Homeschool parents as well as parents who have their children in public school. I think it really, honestly, it depends on the parent. So
right. Yeah. What they have. What they have available to plug in at different points.
Exactly.
Okay. My next question is, what are your most essential strategies for balancing full-time study, a writer business, and a life? Because
a life?
Yeah.
What's that?
What is that? Well, my social life, let me tell you, is struggling. But my advice or my strategy is to simply calendar everything. I put everything in my calendar, even when it comes to spending time with friends and family. Like I have on my calendar for tomorrow or for Sunday, meet with brother. Why do I need to put that? It's my brother. I can literally call him. But because I have it on there, I won't schedule something else.
Right.
And disappoint my brother by saying, oh, you know what? I can't meet up with you because I have to do X, Y, and Z. Sometimes it's just me holding myself accountable and also leaning into technology because my memory is not as sharp as it once was. I just have too much going on. It's not that there's anything going on health-wise. It's just simply there's so much going on, period. Like
too many things changing.
Too many things changing. And the second you think that you can remember something is the second that it will leave your brain.
Yep.
So I literally calendar everything. I schedule everything and I try to stay on top of it. I'm not perfect, obviously, but I try to stay on top of it by assigning a time to it as well. That's something that I'm doing that's new. If I say work on dissertation proposal on Thursday, it is scheduled from 10 to 12. Otherwise, I'm like, okay, I'll do it. I'll do it today. I'll do it today. When?
Yeah.
So that is a hack that I am implementing that is working for me. Other than that, I'm hanging on by a thread. So
So we have a lot of like people who love to plan. So what is your tool for calendaring? When you say calendar, I've got like 3 different systems. I've got the Google Calendar that's in my phone and online accessible. I've got like paper calendars and my planner, which I take with me everywhere. And then I've got little scraps of paper everywhere. So how good does that work? How well does that work? How about you? What's your
same?
Okay. Beth Ann?
Yeah, same.
Okay.
Not great.
All right.
Yeah, not great. I use my Google Calendar the most, but I still do have a paper calendar and I keep it on my refrigerator. So when right before I get a snack or anything, I'm like, okay, you have to do this today. Do I ignore it? Sure. But it's there.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah, on the calendar is good. My refrigerator is pretty full. It's like, yeah, lots of to-dos, lots of like ephemera and fun postcards from friends. So I would have to do a little refrigerator edit if I adopted that tool in particular. But I like the idea.
Yeah.
Let's see. What about in that calendar, liaising with colleagues and friends in those different areas? So you've got academia, you've got YouTube. Are there ways that you connect with people in those arenas? Do you do informational interviews? Do you, get together? What do they call it? Tertulias? Do they still have those? How do you access that as a resource?
First of all, I don't know if they still have that. I honestly use a lot of social media, if I'm honest, to connect with some of my colleagues, because if I'm at home studying by myself or not at school, then my way of being active still is to be socially active digitally by way of social media. So of course, LinkedIn as well. I love Threads. Threads is becoming my new favorite platform.
Okay.
Love Instagram and YouTube. My new YouTube series, the Doctor of Education, the EDD series, I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing it back next week, I believe, actually. And I'm going to be talking and interviewing a lot of my colleagues in this realm, in this space.
Oh, okay.
So that's going to be my attempt of networking, finding colleagues to talk about. And we are talking about universal doctoral experiences, sure, like mentorship and cohort models and all of that. But we're also talking about just being a practitioner and going to school at the same time, how that weighs on you. We have a lot of good topics that are coming up. So I'm using that platform to help with, finding colleagues. And what else? Going to events.
Oh, yeah. Real life.
Yep. Going to events on campus, and not only on campus, but when they say hey, there's something happening in the city and we would love for, let's just say, grad students to come and enjoy. I'm gone. I'm going to the event. I am out of my house. I'm gone out of my house because I stay in the house all the time. I am active. If I meet someone there and we click, then, hey, what are you doing afterward? Want to grab some coffee? So I'm really finding myself in a position where I'm always networking, but I don't see it as a bad thing, because I just feel like I have a lot to share and I don't know what resources are out there. And I want to, meet the people who can not only help me, but I can help them as well. So it's a lot of in-person events. It's a lot of social media communication and YouTube.
Nice. I find that as an introvert, it takes a lot of energy to go do those things. It's not just I have to get out and I have to walk through the snow uphill both ways, but it's also just the opening yourself up and making that awkward effort to say, hi, my name's Margaret. What are you doing here? Because you're just rejection.
Yes.
You have to get over that. And it's I'm retraining myself to do that now because I've been, isolated for so long. So it's trying to get back into that. I can still remember when you talk about events. As a grad student, I went to the Atlantic put on events that were international development focused, and I would go to those. And the one I remember I live tweeted, the first time I live tweeted something when I was still on Twitter. And it does connect you with people. But I have one of those moments that I do remember, oh my gosh, I'm doing the cool thing.
Yes.
So long ago. Yeah.
And what you said about being an introvert is so true. I wouldn't call it anxiety. I wouldn't call it fear. I would call it I wouldn't even call it overwhelm. I don't know what I would call it, but when I see something on my calendar that says event coming up, if it sends me a notification, event in 5 hours, I'm just I want to scratch my eyeballs out. I'm just oh my gosh, I have to talk to people. I have to do this. I have to do that. And I say to myself, Nailah, okay, you got it. You're going to go in there. You're going to shine. You're going to be valuable. You're going to talk about what you know. You're going to shut up when other people are talking. You're going to, and it's just a story. And then when I get there, I'm fine. But it's the build up to get there. As an introvert, it's people.
Yeah.
Pep talk. Yes. I like it. Devin says all those people, plus a week of recovering from in-person events. Yes. That's a good strategy.
Yep. Yeah. That's my life.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got another couple questions, but I wanted to flash this up. The Bookfluence physical copy is available on Amazon, so I've got the link for that. Devin's like, life? We have lives? News to me.
Who knew?
Yeah. Exactly. Well, solidarity there. And then Devin also said, my oldest was homeschooled and my youngest is in public, so the boys are opposite. Interesting. To see both sides, which could be good.
Yep.
Okay, and speaking of Amazon, for any of those in the chat, I was curious about this. And as someone who's, very analytical in the education sphere, I wanted to get your take on it. What about issues like big companies and how they have treated or, possibly harmed the Black community? How does that come into your decision-making process about publishing?
That's something that I wrestle with. And honestly, I have not come to a conclusion yet about, speaking of Amazon specifically, taking my books off of Amazon. I will say this, though. I advise all authors to publish their work on either their personal website or like an indie website as well. If you want to publish it on Amazon, along with your personal website or an indie website, fine, because Amazon does have that reach. But I definitely do advise authors to publish their works elsewhere because you run into issues like this. And for me, I am strongly considering, I don't know what I'm going to do, honestly, you guys, I don't, but it is something that I consider. My community is important to me, just as my work. So I'm conflicted.
Yeah,
I am, but I do have my signature book. Bookfluence is definitely on my website. So I may go ahead and put my other books on my website as well. Yeah.
I think it's a digital download on your website, right? You have a couple buttons for that. And direct sales are the way. We had NS telling us that on Wednesday. So I have not cracked that nut on my website because I just got a bunch of spammers trying to buy books and crack into my shopping cart. So I closed it down. But eventually that would be nice to do for myself. And I definitely concur. I tend to think that most of the decision making is down to I don't have bandwidth for going wide. So for authors who are unfamiliar with the term, that just means that you're available on multiple platforms. You're not exclusive to Amazon, which is the model that they promoted at the beginning of this, bonanza in publishing. Right. And what that means is you have to track multiple websites, you have to do multiple formats, you have to, have multiple ISBNs, all these different administrative tasks that just multiply the work. And really, if you're in it to get your work out, then that may not be as important or prioritized. And I get that. And so that's why I especially will make the exception to buy Amazon books during the Black AuthorTuber Readathon, because I know that there are people who are only able to focus on the one channel or the one avenue. Right. And so I was just wondering, is there something else I'm missing that's playing in that is either a benefit that I'm not seeing or considering, or another obstacle that I don't know about that you can enlighten me on? But
a benefit to publishing on Amazon,
right?
Outside of the reach, I can't think of many other benefits. Reach, ease. It is easy, especially because it's like a drop shipping service. So instead of having books in your home and mailing out books yourself, consumers and readers can purchase books on Amazon. Amazon will ship them. So that is definitely ease. So you're paying for that convenience, and that platform does provide that convenience. So I do appreciate that, because I don't want, I shouldn't say that because I may do that in the future, but right now, focusing on my dissertation and having my home full of articles, I don't want a lot of books in my home, but Amazon allows me to reach those who I probably wouldn't reach otherwise.
For sure.
And get those books to them. Also, what is another benefit? The speed. I'll be honest, if you have Amazon Prime, you can get a book very fast. If I were to ship them, I would do my best to ship them in a timely manner, but you probably wouldn't get them a day or two after purchasing Whereas you may get that, like for Amazon, which they provide, if I were to ship them, maybe you'd get them, I don't know, 3 to 5 days after. So speed, drop shipping convenience, reach, those would be the benefits of having books on a platform like Amazon. Bookshop.org. Okay.
So I would just say maybe not the reach, because like America is ruled by Amazon at this point, but bookshop.org does take care of those other things, and you can get your books on bookshop.org by being in Draft Digital as your packager and sender, or Ingram Spark in bookstores. That you'll be in the catalog to be ordered. So I'm just wondering, like, yes, can we get the word out on that? So I know it's another hurdle and trouble to go through. And so I'm just like, I just wanted to be available to support them some other way. So yeah.
I'm going to strongly consider that, because Bookfluence is actually on Ingram Sparks, or Ingram Spark, and my other books are not, because Ingram Spark is a little complicated at first to figure out. But now that I have figured it out, I'm going to publish my other books there. I put my other books on that site. So if they connect well with bookshop.org, Ingram Spark, then I have no problem switching over. It may take me a little time, but yeah.
I'm like, I wonder if someone has that as a business model of saying like, hey, people from Amazon, let me help you reformat and put it in the Ingram Spark community, because like,
yes,
it's not that hard. It's just like little like things that are different, you know, like Spotify and Pandora.
Right.
No one uses Pandora anymore, just me, but that's okay. Mojo says, too many people means I'll be drinking. Introverts here, yes. Leslie came in from Bookskers and Purrs. Lovely to see you. And yeah, she's just joining in the fun. Yes, I was working on the site today doing translations. Excellent. Yeah, that's another whole thing that I haven't like dipped into. Mojo's ahead of us all in many things, so very, very good. We had Dee Dee from Brown Girl Reading here. Hello. One ISBN per format. Yes, but if you do something in the wrong order, then they steal it. It's just, it's just a mess.
Wow.
And ISBNs are expensive. They are what, like $125 per number? So,
right. Yeah. Devin says it's a hurdle well worth it. I was in an indie bookstore last night and got an ebook claiming that store, and I'm not sure what she means by that. Can you clarify, or do you guys know what she means and I'm just not getting it?
I think she means how you can claim an indie bookstore in Bookshop, so they get like the cut of your purchase.
Oh, okay. So the affiliate sale went through that bookstore.
Yeah.
Got it. Cool.
Okay.
That's something ringing in my background. Sorry. Devin also the last 2 on Earth. No, Mojo uses Pandora. The last 3 on Earth. I'm in community with you guys. That's awesome. Okay, so answered that. It's great discussion. Oh, I had on the end here, can we hear an excerpt? And I think Nailah might have one, and then Beth Ann might have another piece to add as Beth Ann read Bookfluence yesterday, which is amazing.
Yes. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
You can go ahead. Yeah, it's your show.
Okay. First of all, thank you for reading it yesterday. That's cool. I'm actually a little nervous. My Bookfluence book, the full title is Bookfluence: How to Write a Book to Position Yourself as a Leader in Your Industry. So it's a thought leadership book teaching other leaders and educators too how to write their own nonfiction thought leadership book. And I do that by way of a framework. So inside of the book, I teach the book writing by way of a framework. And I really share how it's important to share your expertise in a very structured way. But what I do love about what I shared in the book is that writing a book is deeper than just putting words on paper. It's about really sharing information that will allow people to achieve something, but they have to trust you first. And an excerpt that I have is, or something that I'm going to read, my paragraph on page 43 of the physical book. It says, be a good steward of people's trust. So no matter what book you write, like be a good steward of people's trust, lead them to the best results, point them in the direction of the most aligned expert, even when it's not you. And that's big because a lot of people, they want people to come to them. You know, it's something that, especially if you're going to write a book, you want people to read your book and to believe you as the expert. But if it's not aligned with what they have, be okay with leading them to another expert. But wouldn't it be awesome if you can point your target audience to your book at any time of day? So I'm speaking to the leaders out there. You may feel like you don't have anything to offer and you may point people in another direction, but wouldn't it be awesome if you can point them in your direction by way of your book? But you have to write it first. So that's what I love about this book. It teaches you how to write your own book.
Nice. Very nice. Thank you for that. I like that. I read a whole book called How Trust Works that I was recommending for another readathon because I think we really need to study that and have some thoughts and discussions person to person about it. So yeah, really valuable. That's it.
I really like the relationship with the reader that comes up there and the knowing your audience piece. And that came up in our conversation earlier this week with N.S. Johnson too. Just the idea that you need to figure out who are you writing your book to speak to and then actually speak to them. Then your book needs to focus in on that. And you covered that thoroughly in several places in Bookfluence, which I thought was really an important reminder for anybody who might be thinking about writing a book. And one other thing that stood out to me, which I think ropes in a little bit with what you were just talking about, is I mentioned before we came on the live today that each of your chapters has like a little recap that just are like the perfect sum up for the chapter of like what's the main takeaway. And one of the recaps, you said the most important influence is your mind. Lead it so you can lead others. And I wondered if you could just unpack that a little bit because I thought that was a really powerful statement.
Honestly, my facial expression is exactly how I feel. I forgot that I wrote that. Okay, Nailah. Yes, I think that comes from knowing who you are first. If I can go back into where I was when I wrote this book a few years ago, I was transitioning from thinking of myself as just an author to thinking of myself now as a bookfluencer, as I like to say, a book influencer, which I like to call a bookfluencer. And that came with really working on my mindset, working on how I view information, how I present information, how I approach my readers, how I think of myself. And that's mind work. Like you really it has to be the change that you're looking for. Any change, it starts at the mind. So I think that was important for me to share because I wanted my readers to know, as I was writing the book, that in order to be successful at anything, especially an author, because words have so much power, it's important to get your mind right first before you put any word on screen or on paper. So you have to become in order to be the person that you want to be, the author that you want to be. Yeah.
That's so powerful. I love that.
Why, thank you. And thank you for sharing that. I'm like, what page is that on? I'm like,
oh, I don't know because I have the Kindle and I didn't write down which chapter it was even at the end of as I was flipping through it. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Okay.
I'll jump to the chat. So we had some comments. So Eva said, I love that. And when you were talking about journaling in South Korea, I'm going to get my son a journal for spring.
Yes. Yes.
Also, Eva says, I was a writer long before my degree. I got a BA later in life and call those writing years my scholarly voice years. Which I haven't heard before. So I like that. That's nice.
I like that.
Yeah. And then Devin had a question, which Beth Ann, did you want to say the place in the Kindle? I was buying you time, but if we're going to launch into a new question,
yes, I can say the place in the Kindle. I thought you were like, have a thought on this question. And I was like, that's a huge question. No, great. It was at the end of the chapter, work on your author mindset, which
there you go.
Makes total sense. Yeah. So it was about 38% or so through the Kindle version. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Yep. I remember that.
Okay. So Devin's question is, what advice would you give to someone going back to school and niching down a major? So narrowing their focus. Me, I am that someone, says Devin.
Well, hello, someone. I would say, first of all, if you're going back to school, consider why you're doing it. That I think will help you niche your focus first, because if you're going back for a career, then that can kind of give you like what to focus on that's going to help you build that career or build upon that career. And then also my advice would be to research programs that offer like 2 to 3 different options of your focus. For example, if you are interested in educational leadership, then research maybe, I would say 7 to 10 programs, not only just the schools, but the programs that offer ed leadership, and then see what those focuses, is that the right plural? Focuses? Yes. Are
foci, if you want to get mathematical about it.
You said foci?
Yeah.
I love that. Yes. See what those foci. But yeah, there are different types of ed leadership. So my program is ed leadership and policy studies. There's also ed leadership and curriculum, ed leadership in X, Y, and Z. So you have like the very top, like if you were to draw like, I don't know, some type of Venn diagram, or even, what do they call it? Graphic organizer. Then you will put like your focus at the top. Like, what is your main career goal? And the focus, or the goal, the topic that's going to lead you to that goal. And then have like the lines that are the mini focuses or foci. So yeah, the programs are going to really guide you in figuring out whether you want to go back to school or not. Because if you see a program that aligns with your focus, your major, and you're not sure if it's going to work or not, you at least have that as an anchor. So you can say, oh, this ed leadership program at NYU is not really what I want to do, but let's look at an ed leadership program at Columbia, or let's look at an ed leadership program at Howard or at Morgan State or wherever. So first figure out what you're doing it for. Why? Why are you going to go back to school? Because not everybody has to. Why you're going to do it. And then what topic or theme or focus or major is going to help you reach that goal, and then start to look at the programs that offer that goal or major.
So I have a little commentary on that, but Devin says, my why going back to school is to copy edit my own. I'll still get a proofreader, but I want to boost my database. So Devin curates a database called All Call Indie, which is indie author books, and that helps other authors, again, get to a new audience, get to see new eyes, and also still bring in readers for my fantasy epics, because she writes fantasy books. And so she's a writing fiction business, but also a curating sort of more socially focused mission. And so there are these two competing things. And I would say there's another consideration. If you have your eye on like somewhere that is nearby and the institution is like where you're starting, you can look at the professors who are there. You can look at the teachers. What do they write on? Because I don't think programs are as easy to crack into in terms of what are you focusing on, because they have like a paragraph on the website. Right. But if you look at the teachers who are doing the current classes, and they have recent papers, or they have their own bio and the conferences they're going to, if those sort of match up, I think that would be like, okay, well, maybe you go talk to one of them, and there'll be more things to explore.
That's great advice. And that's actually, I'm so happy you said that, because that's actually what I did at Howard. I was looking at the professors that are teaching there. What are some of their articles that they've published? Also, what are some of their books, if they have them, that they've published? What conferences do they attend? And a lot of them are speakers at these conferences. And what do they talk about? What is their topics there? Like, what are their topics when it comes to their public representation of their work? What did they research when they were in school? So I think that's great advice. It's a great way to pick not only a program, but to pick an institution that provides that sort of access. Because if they have those professors there, then you may in the future work with those professors. There are a lot of professors that I was just admiring from afar that I'm now working with at Howard. So yeah, that's
amazing. Great advice. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thank you for that. That's great. I'm gonna date myself. I have the paper copy of the course catalog of my bachelor's degree year. because it had so many courses that I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. That sounds like pages turned down. I have kept it all these years. You know what year that was? 1999 to 2000.
The 99 and 2000s. Okay.
So it's just that meaningful when you go through and you're like interested in so many different things, and then you end up going, oh, well, this class is only offered once every 2 years. I guess I have to plan to be there if I'm really interested in that one thing that's very specialized. So yeah. Oh, my heart.
I want to see the catalog. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, Santa Clara, man. Okay, so we're evening out our hour-long interview with Nailah here. Does anyone have any final questions? I've got the links in the description for her website and the book website, and the Amazon links are in the chat. Let's see if I missed anything in my outline. I don't think so. Upcoming events. Yes.
Ooh.
Okay. So is there anything that you have coming up either on the channel or in real life that you wanted to promote so that people could come see you in another dimension?
Ooh, okay. Well, I don't have any in-person events coming up, but I do have, I mentioned it before, my YouTube series coming back. So I would love for you guys to check that out. It's called the Doctor of Education, or the EDD series, where I'm interviewing a lot of scholars, whether they're EDD students or not even just EDD, but doctoral students across disciplines. And we're talking about the universal doctoral experience, as well as sharing and giving insights into that work-life balance. So I would really love for you guys to join me there. My YouTube channel is n.harv, n.harv. And yes, the series is coming back next week. I have a playlist, though, that's on there now that has the first few episodes. So the first 8 episodes is under the EDD series, the playlist. And I'm really looking forward to that. So it will be every week, Friday. I'm going to drop a video. I'm saying it out loud. Okay, I really have to be consistent now. But yes, that is the goal, to drop a video, an EDD series video every Friday on my channel to talk about the doctoral experience.
Awesome.
Yeah. Very cool.
I'll check that out and relive the trauma and the glory of my doctoral experience.
Yes, relive it. and provide some insight. Let us know that it's possible to overcome this and to be on the other side. Because right now I'm feeling like, I don't have to get my degree. It's fine.
No, you can do it. You can do it. It'll be so worth it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe you.
You heard it here.
Trust, right?
That's it. That trust.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Sorry.
You missed something?
No. I was looking at your announcement at the bottom. So I'm like, okay, I need to put that in my calendar.
Oh, no worries. Yeah. You said it now, so you're committed every Friday. Yep. And I've been saying consistency is hard. Yeah. Well, we got it. I think we're seeing it. So it's great. Yes. So thank you so much, Nailah, for coming on the channel today. I know you're very busy and we really appreciate it. Your book sounds amazing. And the other books that are, less on what you're focused now also sound amazing and fun. So
thank you.
Out. Yeah.
Thank you so much for this platform. Thank you for inviting me. And thank you for also, what you guys don't know is Margaret, she actually comments and engages in my channel. And I really, really appreciate that. So I want to publicly say thank you. And I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your Friday.
Yes. Thank you. You too.
Thank you to everyone watching. And we'll see you again later, Wednesdays and Fridays for me. Bye.
Bye, guys.